Thank God it's Friday! And I'm doing lessons on what is left and what is right now. But anyway, it's a special time for our beautiful Jassyrians. Fridays are hot and sizzling and sometimes controversial, but fear not, because we are here to amplify your voices as we tackle the hottest topics of the week. Hopefully, we won't get served afterwards. If you know what we're talking about, you know what we're talking about. If not, you need to stick around because you'll find out about the people who are getting served every single day of this week. Ladies, are you ready?
I was born ready. I don't know about anybody that is sitting in the middle, because this is not about sweet in the middle. This is about being disobedient and not having respect and just doing anyhow.
No, you are just, listen to me. You are just getting into yourself because I'm sitting in the middle. Yo,
Wow.
I sat in the middle. Every time I'm always glued at the side. Sometimes
No, Tolu, you are meant for that side of the chair. You are the bougiest.
You spice things up. Listen, yeah.
Oh, girl. Now that you say that, I take back every bad thing I said, girl. Solidarity. Anyway, did any of you catch the president's speech about the economy looking up? Things are getting better, hallelujah.
Is it not that we're looking up to God?
To help us.
From where can I help coming? That's looking up I know about right now.
Did you see queue in the fueling station?
I talked about it on Monday. I saw the queues over the weekend, and I was coming on Monday. I said, why are there queues? Why are there stations closed? Somebody told me that when there are public holidays like that, it slows down because tanker drivers. I said, okay. They told me yesterday.
Queue everywhere.
Close.
Yes, queue. And everyone that is selling, they're selling higher.
Listen, at this point, I'm skeptical of all these promises being made and all this. Okay, yeah, the economy is going to get better. Oh, it's like a broken record. So right now, if the president says he has plans to bring down inflation, if he says he's ready to bring down inflation at this point, I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. Okay, so
honestly,
let's hear from the president.
Let's hear. No. There's conviction. You know, there are sometimes when you believe in what you are saying. Let's hear the conviction in our president's voice, because he's convicted. That is my static pose. Even my people are not convicted. They are not convicted to play the video.
But I did listen to it, and his promise is that he's going to bring down inflation.
He said inflation is going to come down.
Let's hear.
Campaigning for me, you promised them a good result, didn't you? Yes. That's it. I have to work for it. No magic wand. I campaign on hope. I have to rest on that hope and push for that hope for the joy of every one of us. The economy is looking good. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yes, we know we have the challenge of inflation. It's okay. We will bring it down. We are re-engineering. Our revenue is getting better, and we are taking our sovereignty and respect back around the world. Not that we have to go there and hire them to do the job for us. We are doing it ourselves. Whatever is happening to us, we have to solve it by ourselves. It is your effort, your thinking, your resourcefulness, your investment, your dedication, and hard work.
Do you know what I'm looking for? Because he said that the economy is looking better. Please, I'm looking for the economy that the president has said is looking better.
No, Tolu. He said, no, please, you're a journalist.
Okay.
Our president said, I campaigned on hope. And I'm standing on that hope.
But we've been told that hope is not a strategy.
No. To you.
Is it that
To
when
you.
No. Is it that when we get to Nigeria, everything becomes an exception to the rule, or the rule gets thrown out the window?
But don't you know that in Nigeria we never follow the rule?
Catherine,
Everything in our
Catherine,
country
talk before
follows
you
another
bust.
rule.
Catherine looks like she's about to bust.
He campaigned on hope, and he will stand on that hope that things will get better.
I will take hope to the market to go and pay the lady I want to go and buy a wedu from.
Iwalo so if you had gone there
I
and
said,
said,
Madam, my president has said we stand on hope. Please take this hope from me so I can buy my wedu.
you see, you are not convicted. Those are that's the problem we're having in Nigeria. You don't believe. You have no belief.
so
They said we
believers-
should pray.
So when you take that belief and go
Prayer
to
without works is dead.
My own is in all of that. The people that are clapping. Listen,
They are clapping. They are clapping hopefully.
If you're happy, you know, clap your hands. Cry, cry. If you're happy, you know, clap your hands.
Honestly, let's be realistic. The way this economy is structured and the way everything is, it's like a Herculean task.
It is.
I do not know what is the quick fix.
There is none.
And now in this country, we have economists, we have financial analysts, we have people that know the trends and everything. And this is not the time to quickly gather all the brilliant minds around and put them in a table and say, what can we do?
But he just announced the formation of a special council for the economy now. That was just last week. We're hoping to hear more about what. See, I have no issues with him reminding Nigerians what he campaigned on. I have no issues with him saying that the economy is looking up. It's the people that need to tell you. There's the economy and then there's the real economy.
Yes.
My pocket, which is the real economy, is telling me that nothing is looking up.
Story. And you come across, you make it seem like you're placating us, rubbing us on our back. It's going to be better. Take it from me. I say what? Repeat after me. It's going to be better. And that's why you see them clapping. We have passed the stage. We're not toddlers anymore. And we are tired. Like Tolu, I'm leaning towards what Tolu said, because you cannot take hope or you cannot take conviction to the market to say, okay, I'm bringing out conviction. Therefore, they will stone you. They will roast you. They will... Exactly.
You must be using scent leaf for perfume now. Just rub curry leaves under your armpit because the sky, the way.
They'll be saying, why am I smelling jollof rice? I know, why am I smelling fried rice here?
Forget you, just rub curry leaves and be smelling
or find alternatives, because if we're saying that if we're saying that this is what you plan to do, we've seen your antecedents as the people who have come before you. There's been promises and failed to adhere to your promises by past politicians of past regimes and all. So what is it about this regime that we want to do? And it's as if it's getting worse. We have experienced dire situations, but it now seems that this is the most dire.
Inflation is at the highest level
now
ever. Food inflation is ridiculous.
It's honestly.
It's this same week that his government announced they're going to remove subsidy, or they're going to increase electricity for band A. There's just a lot
you know
that's
when
going
it starts
on.
in band A,
It will trickle down. There's no way it won't.
It's
There's
going to
no way.
ricochet down. I'm just wondering why this government cannot be so transparent and be accountable to the people.
Have we ever had a
These
transparent
things are
government?
happening. Can they come out and say, this is what we are doing? This is what we know is happening.
No, did you not
these
hear
are the things that
Tolu said there are some things that are classified. There's some things that don't need to be shared.
Since I made that statement,
you know,
Catherine will not let me forget it.
No, it's, you know, there's some
things that are classified. Is it that until everybody is classified as dead?
Yeah.
No, because it's a classification.
Well,
when your mortality is gone,
man,
and there's no, when people begin, do you know how much, in my estate in 2 days, they caught 2 thieves.
And what are they stealing?
Petty things. They'll remove your car mirror and go and sell it for cheaper and use it to buy garri.
Oh, God.
Because I keep saying, we say these things sometimes, we're joking about it. But the economy is really at its worst.
Yeah.
My children will be eating. Do you know I'll be using bad eye to look at them? Counting every grain of rice.
that they are eating.
Why is there 2 grain remaining? Lick it. Because that 2 grain can cause the whole nation to collapse.
But you know what? Lola's not lying. So
Yes.
she talked about the transparency and accountability. Unfortunately, for many of us, when it comes to our political leaders, the people they're accountable to are those, that not even necessarily people who voted for them, it's their political party. And as long as the party faithful or the party players continue to tell them you're doing a good job, our voices are voices of dissent.
Did you not hear them doing this?
That's one.
I
hope to hear a more formidable, action-pointed plan from the presidency and the council he
That's what
set
I
up.
said.
So let's see a plan. They'll tell you they've been giving you plans, they've been doing things. CBN has been doing this, we've been doing things, but apparently for me, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
But let's come back to the food. The way I told Omokorede Abigail, so not be telling me it's enough. I said Omokorede Abigail.
Finish.
And that's what I'm telling you. You are very privileged. You're very lucky.
And I asked the children to buy bread. So look, there were 3 people at home. Let's say
How many bread? Let's be specific. That's what I was getting.
4,000 Arab bread.
How many breads were there?
How many loaves of bread?
How many loaves?
2. By the time you came back, it was finished.
Man, it never remains.
Oh,
Could it finish? Have you seen the slices? They're making it very
thin.
The slices are
I know
even the loaf is
children.
like sponge now. It's not the
It's
same.
on diet. I said the slices of bread are on diet.
They are.
Because
And the
it's
more
too
they are on diets, the more children are consuming.
consuming. That means if you were to give them like 6 slices, now they will take 8 of it.
8K. It's 12 now.
So they
Because
wanted
they
us
do this. They say,
wait,
Mommy, by the time you do this, it shrinks.
They wanted us to share personal perspectives and solutions to address this inflation. The truth is, I have no
I have no
idea.
idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
What can we do? Look at the state of insecurity in the north. It's affecting food prices.
Yes, absolutely.
We have a food crisis. Honestly, because even if everything is going wrong and there's still food to eat,
It's,
you know,
it's
people will
okay.
still, they'll take it a little. But now,
And then it's hot. So you're
Situations are
adding heat.
dire.
that
To
means
the
there's
anger,
people,
to
I
the
haven't slept
hunger.
in days.
People are
My
lying
car is
on the
bad.
floor.
Have you
As-
tried car parts?
Oh, Lord, please, let's take a break. We promised our people, we promised them hot topics today.
Honestly, today
We've started the heat.
No, but we have to
It's not
lament,
just
'cause-
hot.
and I'm sure they can
In
resonate
our
with us.
kids, our yakit is hot also. We'll be going on a short break so we can usher our guests in, because when we say it's Friday and it's our hot topic special, you know we don't handle it alone. We have to bring someone that we can put all our frustration on. And we're going to bring in a special guest that is very demure and fine. But by the time she's done,
She's fine, very
we will
fine.
ruffle her feathers.
Very fine
We
woman.
will ruffle.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Our guest is in the studio with us, and whether you've been following the drama or just tuning in for the first time, get ready to join the conversation and make your voice heard. This is Jasiri, and we're about to bring down the house. So let's do this. So, our special guest today is a beautiful, delectable, and witty actor. She's a writer and she's a producer, known for her quirky and comedic roles in series like Castle and Castle, Before 30. More recently, she's the star of Ni Akon. You didn't spell that in there.
Akimolayo.
Yeah, that's Ni. His movie is now streaming, Casa de Novia. Please.
Novia.
Casa de Novia. Please, I have a flu. Excuse me, can you just don't let me go with the flow? Please give a Jasiri welcome to Anne Icha. Annie, welcome to the show.
She's looking like me. She's talking about bread. She's looking like fresh and
I did tell you,
Fresh and
they don't put her out of the oven.
No, you use that to heat.
Ewa going.
Bro, you will dip it inside hot chocolate. Inside this heat. Use skill to scoop it out in the local way.
Annie, welcome to Jasiri.
Thank you so much for having
I'm
me.
telling you off air that we're not using like this. I don't know what she's saying. It's a Friday. It's been hot.
So it gets
It's been
wild in
heated.
here.
Third Mainland Bridge has finally reopened. So energy's a little bit, you know. So we don't want your white to be stained.
Yes,
We're not going to drag you, but some people's whites may not be white after this, and some dragging may occur. We don't want to crash into anything that's somebody's affair, but you know, because it's hot topics, we tread fearlessly. We're about to get into it. So let's go straight. Lolo.
All right, our very first hot topic is about Nathaniel Bassey filing a petition against some social media users over the paternity rumors. Some people get wide, though. I'm afraid for them. Can you believe the audacity? People will do anything for attention these days. But seriously, spreading rumors like that can actually ruin people's lives, and not just lives, marriages. Let's even see the accusation that's,
that Mercy Chinwo and Nathaniel Bassey is looking for me. I have 2 words for you. my brother, the way you take a comment on my post, same as you want to find for me. If not the same energy you put for your life, if you don't become a successful person, if not the same energy you take tackle your family problem, you for don't become a successful person. So who told you I've not seen the post? Why must you come on my comment section and tell me Mercy Chinwo and Nathaniel Bassey are looking for me? Did I say anything bad? Did I lay an allegation against them? Did I say that Nathaniel Bassey committed adultery? Did I say that Mercy Chinwo committed adultery? Oga, before you come on my comment section, go and study your constitution and law. I never laid an allegation on Mercy Chinwo and tell Mercy Chinwo that she committed adultery or Nathaniel committed adultery. What I said was, let them do DNA. If DNA is cheap, every family could have been doing DNA once they're born. Let's tell ourselves the truth and let's call a spade a spade.
I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Wait, before you get into it, because this was actually after the news that the petition came out, he has gone ahead to issue something that is supposed to resemble an apology.
What does that mean?
Somebody that resemble an apology. Look, I want to give, because I don't want to come back and interrupt. So he has done what is supposed to have been an apology. He's sorry. He didn't mean it like that. That is not, they should please, temper justice with mercy, blah, blah, blah. But I also need to note that this same guy also leveled some accusations against AY. AY also did a petition, also went and said he wanted to get this guy arrested for defamation or slander. We're talking about it in the studio. And he came out again to apologize to AY. So he has a pattern. He says he's a content creator, that he just wants to blow. It's hunger that's making him want to blow.
No,
Lola, go ahead.
even if you want to be hungry, there are lines not to cross.
Absolutely.
You see the blatant way. He had the audacity to continue to say that DNA should be done. What does that insinuate?
You see,
And you know the kinds of people that... I'm just, honestly, now that this social media thing has come, I know that I don't think they can regulate social media to, maybe to the
comfortable extent.
Comfortably, but now people are making me want to say, maybe they need some kind of regulation.
Oh, I think
Annie,
so.
please, what do you think? I know you've been following this whole situation.
I have, and I'm not certain how much I can say.
Oh, you can say everything you want to say.
Very good. There's a part of the good book that says, I think somewhere in Proverbs, that don't answer a fool according to his folly, right? And then right after that verse, it says, answer a fool according to his folly. Now, the reason I started there is this. If you take up every fight, if you don't pick your battles, there is the possibility that when you do not answer a fool, or you you answer a fool according to his folly, there is the possibility that you start to look like a fool as well, if you didn't pick or you don't pick the right battle. Now, the problem is, many people think that the gentle stride of a tiger means cowardice. And so when you continue not to pick a fight, or you continue not to respond, it gives people temerity and audacity to say things that they have absolutely no business to saying. So that is why in the next verse, you use discernment and you know what battles to pick. Because when something like this happens, I am hoping that they sue this joker to within an inch of his generation's lives, like all of them, so that tomorrow some computer or keyboard warrior will not sit down there without having put in any sweat into someone's career, into their name, into their reputation, and sit there and ruin it with one word. And you go on your way, and this person has to deal with everything that you've dropped there. So I am hoping that he does not forgive him. I'm an advocate for forgiveness, but I hope he doesn't forgive him. I hope he drags him for filth across the streets of Lagos. So tomorrow, everybody else that thinks of doing
I stand with you, solidarity. Yes.
No, because
I'm so triggered. So I have heard some people saying something to that, saying things like, I've seen some comments on social media that what is wrong with Nathaniel Bassey, that is he not just talk, that if he has nothing to hide,
you're not the only. I was coming to work on Wednesday on radio, hearing somebody who's an entertainment analyst say that he thinks this is a minor issue. That even the rumors that supposedly some people were spreading about Davido being arrested in Kenya, that Davido doesn't need to respond. That is not that they're big entities and celebrities and personalities. That is the problem.
It is not because people do not know. That is when we talk about journalism. People don't know journalism is a lot of work. We put a lot of work into getting the right facts.
So this is not just Nathaniel Bassey,
Yeah.
it's Mercy Chinwo, it's her husband, it is an innocent child.
It is the church.
It affects his wife, it affects his image.
You see, on this path to social media breakthrough, on this path to blowing via social media, under the umbrella of content creators, they will stop at nothing. I say they will stop at nothing because they believe it is their time to blow. They don't mind dragging you along the way to blow.
Your
So when
collateral damage is there.
So when Annie says she hopes Nathaniel drags him through the corridors and the streets of Lagos, I like that.
So let me ask you, I want to say unfortunately, but in this situation, he is a Christian public image. There are lots of people who have been shouting, Nathaniel Bassey, the Bible says that we should forgive. If they slap you, turn the other cheek and let them slap you again. I was raised in the church, and I think sometimes that is part of the church's folly. In not using people. Yes, call your brother aside, but this guy has a pattern. He's done it to AY. If he gets away with Nathaniel, he'll go to the next person.
Exactly.
And they'll call it. You can hear the audacity, and you're coming to my comments to be, what are you talking about? Would you have comments if you did not mention the names you mentioned?
They set it up to a point that this is the baby's face they have been hiding.
No, people
I was like, for God's sake.
people are cruel. And I feel like while you cannot control everyone, and we are in charge or we're responsible for controlling ourselves, there is some measure of responsibility and accountability that people have to be forced to take. You cannot just say anything.
But they'll tell you it's their opinion.
No, I don't agree. I feel like, listen, you can have an opinion. I can say, I don't like this phone.
I don't like your dress.
Androids. I prefer Apple products. That is saying, it's not the same thing as saying Android is stupid. It's not the same thing. The way you choose to express yourself is just as important as what you're expressing. In fact, it's even more so. Because if you have a good message and you do not communicate it properly, your message will be lost. It will be lost on those people.
There's no message. There's no message.
Joke you want to crack. You might say, oh, wow, that the anointing is flowing. This baby looks shares so much similarity with Nathaniel Bassey. You'd have thought that maybe it's the Christian anointing that is flowing. Maybe somebody would have said, okay.
I'm sorry, I feel like you shouldn't comment on someone's child. There are some lines that we shouldn't
never cross. I remember years ago, I went on, I think Honorable Desmond Elliott's page. He posted his children. His fraternal twins don't look alike. One is quite chubby and the other one is slim. Oh my God. One terrible, human being. So I will cut it back. One guy went on it and said, this child is overfed, he's ugly, this, that, Tolu. I went into his page and I commented on his family picture. I said, how would you feel if I say your family is ugly and your children are grotesque?
Oh dear.
He now went into my, DM. Lola, what did he do?
What did he do?
I said you had the audacity to. I said you commented on a child's picture, not the father. You can tackle Desmond Elliott. I don't mind. But how can you say that about his child? And that time, those children were just about maybe 8.
Oh no.
So you know what? It brings me back to two things, and that's because we are the way we are as a society. People are behind the scenes. They're always looking for that comment. We've seen some celebrities share the people who are the vilest to them in the comments, being the people who come to them in DM, either asking for help or being, or when you reply them, they'll say, so you've noticed me. A lot of people know what they're doing with this. But when you hear politicians say that social media needs regulation, that these are the issues of defamation and slander and false information and fake news that they're talking about. There's a politician in Nigeria right now who's looking at this Nathaniel Bassey case. He'll be saying, did we not tell them? So what do you think? Because it seems to be a free-for-all space. People lose their inhibitions, they lose their common sense, their courtesy, any iota of maturity when it comes to social media. I am not for regulation, but the people who are for it, when I see certain cases like this, I can be like, I understand. Annie.
So here's the thing. I feel like you said, social media is something that is, the internet is a whole world on its own. it is not a real world, and I'm going to say this as many times as I can. Social media is not the real world. I don't know when we lost the plot. A lot of people live their lives on social media. Meanwhile, it is not real. At best, social media is a highlight reel of people's lives. Now, that being said, because it is so important and it has become such a useful tool in our daily lives, we can't escape that. So you can't necessarily restrict people's
access and use.
In fact, not even just their access. You can't restrict what people do on there, but I think you should restrict the kind of people that can get on there. That's what I mean. So I feel like you're not going to let a madman who he's walking around with pants and a bucket on his head, you're not going to let him walk into Aso Rock. You're not going to let him walk into your home. I'm saying there needs to be some sort of way that these people who run these platforms can actually run a sort of check on the people who get on them. I know it's a lot. And maybe restrict the ability for people to have fake accounts. Let me tell you why. Because most of these trolls, they do not come as themselves.
Yes.
They don't. And that is why they have the audacity to say what they say.
Yes.
Because they can't be traced, they can't be found, and they can't be held accountable. In the face of accountability, people become responsible.
It's like she should be coming every Friday. But wait, so in light of this conversation, just this week as well, on social media, we saw a letter that a man in the UK received for his defamatory comments about, I believe it was the Prime Minister. So that's the letter there that talks about the comments attributed to him, particularly were being noted for being contentious in nature and inflammatory as well, that it's crucial to emphasize that his online behavior is subject to scrutiny and that there are issues around discrimination. So it's not just a Nigerian problem. This one was a letter to your house delivered by the UK Post.
Formal warning regarding social media comments.
Formal warning.
Formal warning.
Kitty had to buy. You know, this one is not joking. And I hope it's not a immigrant. So,
I saw a black finger.
Because if you are a immigrant, you will just be immigrated back.
So
there's a system. I'm sorry to there's a system in that environment where you can actually trace people. There is social security.
No, Nathaniel Bassi has traced the 5 people. Their
Yes, but
names.
this is just 5. What about the thousands of people who are sitting down right now as we're talking and going, look at these foolish people.
We get plenty.
I feel like if you can trace these people, they will make 90% of the trolls won't troll.
They will not. Do you know that there was a year I went for AMVCA? If only they knew what it took me to be able to get that dress. I wore the dress. They said I looked like a low-budget Chioma Jesus. It was a red dress that had high. 1 year they forced me. After Chika Ike's movie premiere, they said, sexy. Your sister went to sew one gown that my breast was hanging down like alright, Papa, ready to fall. They said, Lola, you have to be ashamed of yourself. You have no decorum, no nothing. Your Christian value in the mosque. And I looked at the both of them, and they do not know that those times they made those comments were some of the lowest points of my life.
They don't care.
That I left that place. If it wasn't that I knew God for myself, I could have taken my own life. Because it was so hard hitting. Because I was just trying to conform to the dress code. And Taylor said this will work. And I had to hang my papa like that.
I want to ask, I'm coming back to Annie, that question I asked. There are those who are now trying to prevail on Nathaniel Bassi as a Christian to forgive. We are saying that this should be an example made,
Yes, I agree.
especially since particularly one of them has a previous situation on ground. But what do you think?
He shouldn't forgive. I'll say that where's the camera?
Where's the camera?
Mr. Nathaniel Bassi, sir, with all due respect and love for what you do, don't forgive. See, this is a matter of discernment. And you have to be able, like I said at first, you pick the right battle. It can end many battles that will come in the future.
Yes.
The right, so if we fight the right battle, I feel like if these people are held, they are brought to book for this nonsense, many, before they open their mouth and say, even if they have evidence, they will say, what's really my business? And that's the point.
Yes.
What is your business?
Before you open your mouth and say anything.
I mean, that's why they think, no, everybody on the streets of social media now are journalists.
Yeah.
They don't know what they call investigative reporting.
What's the ethics of the
ethics of the profession. Do you know that before we, even on this table, we cannot take stories that are unfounded?
They should ask the producers how difficult I can make it sometimes.
Yeah.
Guys, so let's take a short break at this point. Annie is still with us. She's not going.
She's hot.
She's locked, stocked, and barreled.
And Brian.
Hot topics returns very shortly. This is Jessie. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Jasiri. Don't forget, we are, of course, streaming on our social media platforms at News Central TV, and you can use the hashtag Jasiri. Wow. Okay, let's go there. So, Bob Risky.
Bobby.
I have to say, it's the risky one himself or herself. I'm so confused. Has been trending for a few weeks now. First, it was about being awarded Best Dressed Female at a movie premiere, and now, which is now sparking a lot more chatter on social media, and just when that seemed to have been dying down, the EFCC detained him and is now charging him for abusing the naira, actually for mutilation of the naira. You see there, mutilate currency and face the wrath of the law. He was granted administrative bail, but has not yet made the bail conditions. This is a lot, but I will give you that mugshot is sitting. Oh, there are people that you see their mugshots is not, also look very pretty on that mugshot. But this, of course, stems from, some would say, there are so many different issues because there's very dark man in this issue. That's a different angle of this conversation. But if we're taking it on the face value, EFCC has said, stop spraying. Stop mutilating the naira. Stop disrespecting the naira. And we had an actress, a Nollywood actress, who was arrested and charged and, of course, sentenced last year because of that. This is the video that many people are pointing to as one that has brought renewed attention on to Bob Risky. Annie, you're our guest. I will start with you.
Bobby.
It's not looking bad. So here's the thing. I'm not certain if we're talking about Bob Risky and the EFCC matter, or if we're talking about the other matter, because I feel like some things have been conflated here. Yes. We can't remove one from the other. I think one of the reasons why Bob is so Bob. It's because of everything that he represents. And in my opinion, I might be wrong, but I feel like why why this person...
A lot of people just use the name because they're not, and I find it interesting that Nigerians are being sensitive to that pronoun. So a lot of people are just saying Bob.
So why Bob gets a lot of attention, good and bad, is because I think it's a matter of free will. Now let me explain. Our parents, the society that we live in here in Nigeria, there are certain guidelines and rules that we live by. Some have been influenced by religion, others by culture, even though when you want to talk about culture, they say if you go way back into time, some of these alternative lifestyles were present even way before civilization, but that's a conversation that we can't have today. I feel like what makes people so upset is the fact that free will is not exactly free.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's bound by society.
Everything that you know as your will has been influenced. It's been influenced by your parents, by the environment you grew up in, your teachers. Every experience you have had as a person is what has made up your free will. And people are worried that if there is this unfettered influence in the media, and this person is given so much airplay, it is going to influence their children. And so people will grow up and think, this is what I want to be. I think that that's the real inner issue. People don't want to come out and say it, but I honestly feel that's what it is. Because if you ask, Bob is not really hurting anyone by being Bob. Some people argue that Bob is hurting people. Why? Because
he's promoting a lifestyle.
Exactly. A lifestyle that goes against our culture. It goes against a lot of people's religion. It goes against people's sensibilities. And people feel like this is a pathway for young boys to miss the mark.
I love how you're picking your words.
You know, it's a tricky topic to talk about because it affects, and I have to say this, people that live an alternative lifestyle, we have to remember that they are human beings. They might be different from us, but they are human. And empathy is a must when you're dealing with people. Everybody needs a soft landing. I still don't forgive him, Nathaniel. But everybody needs a soft landing. So it is important to handle the human being behind the alternative lifestyle.
Behind the potential offense.
Why hasn't he made bail? I know that people have questioned his style, his lifestyle.
Army of Lagos.
Being part of the crème de la crème. But I'm saying why? No.
This table is fragile. Just like
voicing out.
You see, the lifestyle that people think they see is just a perception.
Especially
It's a
island
perceived
lifestyle.
There are many reasons.
Islands.
I cannot say this.
Please say
for a
island
fact.
lifestyle, please.
Island lifestyle. I cannot say this for a fact, but a lot of times when I see all this money they throw out and all these things, sometimes they say it's just pseudo money. They say sometimes they rent the money.
Sometimes the money is rented. Sometimes it's money that they use for movies. Yes, they rent from. Yes.
Have people heard that?
You've never heard of it. I can tell you. Sometimes the money is rented with interest.
Whoever invited you to the party,
yes,
gives you
Money to spray.
no, or you rent from
Money
other
misses from, you know when you spray, you
you will
spray.
you will account for it. So you will account for it.
No, you
will account for it.
I even hear people that invite you to some parties will give you what you would spray them.
Just
So
for
that
sure.
their party can be
Look like it's
crime. So you see, there are so many things to
media
look at
won't
here.
finish us.
But I keep saying that we need to draw clear lines. Until Nigeria wants to make cross-dressing against the law, it's still not illegal.
You can't hold it.
Cross-dressing by the law is still not illegal.
And he's not being charged for
So
cross-dressing.
he's not being charged for cross-dressing.
No.
What I have a beef with is that these police that are catching people need to catch more people.
Oh yes,
Because
And catch other people.
Or the
Why
more people
specifically
want- we have seen videos online of indiscriminate spraying. I have
of the
literally seen a
naira.
couple sit inside of money.
good.
So why Bob in this instance? Why
Because even
Bob?
the way he was spraying the money was kind of
Yeah, it was doing it with
so the main
handling the money with bougie moves.
the money, I was about to say something. Let me go and not implicate myself. So the video at the heart of this particular situation with AFCC arises from the same movie premiere in which he was awarded Best Female. So that has
Are
continued
you
to be
sure
an
that it's not the
issue.
influence of some angry people?
That's what I'm saying, because right now, as I said earlier, there's somebody who's constantly drawing attention to him.
Premiere, why blame Bob? He just dressed and went on the carpet. He was awarded.
And people
Because he
admired
wanted
him.
to use him to trend. She came out and apologized. And Ola Ajao has come out to apologize. She knew what she was doing when she picked Bob. But I want to come back to something Catherine asked. She said, why has he failed to meet bail conditions? I want to make a point. Lolo and you agree, if somebody comes and makes bail or stands for him, it becomes a matter of public record, right?
Yes.
You understand? It becomes a matter of what? Public record.
You want me to sign as guarantor?
Sing it again.
A guarantor. You want me to sign as a guarantor? Guarantor. You know what's about relationship.
Horrible. All right, so Annie, there's one more thing we want to quickly look at on this particular issue. What about all the rumors, the scandals, the whatnots going around about celebrities and public figures when it comes to, let me just, drawing outside the line. The way we're talking around, above, under.
Okay, so what's the question?
That is the question.
What's my take?
Being in the limelight, the fact that every single little thing you do is under scrutiny. Somebody will set up ring lights, Agbalagba, Agbaya, Arare, will sit up and set up ring lights, and they will adjudicate on your life. And as Lolo said, they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I believe so many of them are dealing with depression, addiction, so many issues, but presenting a front.
Yes. So this is my take. I feel like anyone who is coming into the entertainment space in any way, even within production, but most especially people who are in front of the camera, you have submitted yourself to a very large extent, to other people's scrutiny. Now, knowing that, I think it is of utmost importance that you fortify your mental, and that is an inside job. Nobody can make you mentally strong except yourself. And the focus should be on who am I, what do I stand for, what are my principles, what are my values, and what do I have to do to represent myself properly. As long as I am doing that, everything else is water off a duck's back. It doesn't matter what people say. If I may, I want to tell you guys a quick story. So I did an interview a couple of years ago, and it was 3 women, 2 women and myself, and one of the other ladies said something about, they were talking about why are women in Nollywood more financially successful than men. And someone was saying, in all of the things that she said, is it a woman's fault if a senator gives her a car and she takes the car? And now in the edit, they cut it to look like all 3 of us were advocating for senators giving women cars. And so in the comment section, when they posted that piece of the interview, can I say Ashawon? Okay. Everybody's Ashawos, women Ashawos, Nollywood women Ashawos.
And we would have had 10,000 comments in upward.
You love it.
And this lady, the person who actually made that statement, she was bothered, and she messaged me. She's like, "Oh, they're calling us Ashawos. We should respond. Why aren't you responding?" And I said, "Hold on a second. Are you an Ashawo? No, are you an Ashawo?"
Yeah.
She said, "No, that's not what matters." I said, "No. What matters is if someone looks at you and says you are a pile of shit.
Yes.
Are you? Have you seen poop before? Yes. Have you seen yourself? Do you look the same?
Wow.
If it is not true, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There are some things that if you give your energy to it, it will not only fuel the people that have lit that fire, they will burn you inside that fire. Just don't.
On that note, there's a story that correlates, and I want to hear what Annie's becoming my favorite guest so far. I want to hear your thoughts, because before we go, I just quickly want to mention it. We've heard from the Kano State government now that has banned the screening of movies depicting cross-dressing and thuggery, not just one thing. The ban is part of efforts to promote morality and curb social vices in the state, and it follows the suspension of a popular Hausa language film festival in Kano, due to concerns over the content of some films. The government aims to enforce stricter regulations on the film industry to align with cultural and religious values in the state. This also comes after we heard from the Nigerian Video Censors Board and AFCC saying that they also want to come down on things like this in the movie industry. Annie, you're in the industry. Is it art imitating life, life imitating art? What are we doing?
So art imitates life. And life is influenced by art. And so it is very important that, and this is not even just, I know we're talking about cross-dressing and things that are like anti our culture, our moral culture, but even when you represent your country as, you know, like we're a pack of charlatans and thieves and all of that. So representation is important in every way. What people see, the first interaction that foreigners have with culture, and in fact some of us within the country have with our own culture, is our art. A lot of people in my generation, we don't know nothing about politics. We know nothing about the rule of law. We know nothing about the country that we live in. We are actually learning from the things that we are watching and reading. And that is why it is so important that filmmakers and actors and those of us in the space where we've been privileged, because it's a privilege. It's not a flex. You have people's minds sort of in your hands, and that's something that you should treat with care, and you should have utmost respect. So I agree that some form of cap, yes, but not even necessarily in the sense of like regulating or stopping people
like
from
an
doing
agreement.
work.
Sit down at the table with Nollywood itself and have an agreement.
And individuals need to we need to care about what we're talking about. Listen, You cannot represent something properly that you don't care about.
Exactly.
Nigerians need to care about the Nigeria we are talking about. Listen, if you love your girlfriend, when you're talking about her, you're going to talk about her in the best
say
light.
no more.
Honey, say no more because they're about to get us out of the studio. But she's coming back.
That look like us.
Whatever. Whatever.
Brand.
Catherine, they said that we
Guys,
have to go.
I was waiting. So we are going, guys. We have to say a big thank you to a special guest, Anne Icha. We hope you enjoyed yourself, Annie. It was a pleasure. Oh my God, it's always a pleasure to be on set with my girls. Please, let's do it again next week. Have a fantastic weekend. We are out of here. Bye. Annie, thank you so much for coming on the show. Time was not.